back, viewers and hardcore art heads. And it's with mixed emotions that I'm coming to you here from the Whitney Museum. One of the reasons is we're going to go in and see this show, Jeff Koons, a retrospective. The sad part is this is going to be the last major exhibition that they have here at the Whitney.
Good afternoon, I'm Adam Weinberg, the Alice Pratt Brown Director of the Whitney Museum of American Art. Welcome to Jeff Koons, a retrospective. We're enormously proud to have organized this historic exhibition and have it debut at the Whitney. We're particularly delighted that this fall it will tour to the Centre Pompidou and next year to the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao. This exhibition is our last to be presented in this building for the foreseeable future. And first time in 48 years of history that nearly every floor of the museum has been devoted to a single artist. We wanted to say goodbye with a flourish, and I think after you see the show upstairs, I trust that you'll think we've succeeded.
Long before I was a curator, I thought, wow, wouldn't it be interesting to do his retrospective in New York, which had never happened, surprisingly. Although not so surprisingly, as Adam mentioned, when you realize all the complexities of a show like this. And I kept thinking, well, someone's going to get there, this is surely going to happen somewhere else. And lo and behold, it didn't. And it's a retrospective, and in some ways, the organization of it is traditional. You see the work unfold in chronological order across time from 1978 until works that were really just finished literally last week. So we have a really broad range of work going more than 35 years. And now I just want to introduce the man of the hour, Jeff Koons. It has been, oh, the camera's rise. Good, I'm glad I set it up. It's been a remarkable journey the last 4 years, and such a privilege to work with you, Jeff. I've learned so much about not just your work, but art in general, and I really thank you for it. So come on up.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful to hear the words of Adam and of Donna and of Scott. But I have to say, this has really been a very meaningful experience. First of all, the Whitney is such an incredible museum, such an incredible organization, and stands for so much in this community, in this country, and the world. But it's really an important institution, I think especially for young artists. I think they feel as though this is a platform for them, that they can come here, they can interact with art, they can have a better understanding of art and its possibilities. And this is really what I've wanted for this moment in my life. I'm 59 years of age right now. But to be able to share my journey, my dialogue, that I've had with art, with other young artists, and just with the community in general. And that's what the Whitney represents to me. It's a platform that it's open. It doesn't seem to have a bias in that dialogue, just to really give the artists the opportunity to present their work. For me, I'm enjoying every moment of this, I have to say. And I'm enjoying it because I really believe in art. I really believe in the transcendence that it's given me it's taught me how to feel, to enjoy the senses. And through that sense perception, it's taught me how to enjoy ideas and to also experience this very ethereal, ephemeral realm of ideas. And to really become a better human being. And so this is, for me at this moment, a platform for the future. And I believe completely in the work that we have here, and I hope that other people can find meaning in it. But for myself, I really feel that it's about the future. I believe that I have like another at least 3 decades, hopefully even more, to create art and truly be able to exercise the freedom that we all have. We all have this, but to exercise the freedom as an individual to do exactly what we want. And I'm so grateful for the Whitney to give me the opportunity to do it up to this moment. So thank you very much.
Well, this is interesting. We've got a little bit of Jeff Koons ephemera here. And some of the advertisements and articles that have appeared about him. But I like this. This is a study for one of the equilibrium tanks. And it's nice to see. I guess maybe Jeff even did this with his own hands for a change. Well, they said that this show is laid out chronologically, so we're going to start here on the second floor. And also because this is such a massive show, I'm not going to have time to go through and give titles and dimensions and dates to all the pieces. So I'll try to catch a few and maybe make some statements about some things. This series of work is some of the first stuff that I saw of Jeff's work. And these are various Hoover Vacuum cleaners. And I saw this in the front window at the new museum, I guess probably back in the mid-early 80s. And I was walking down the street with Kate, and we sort of looked at this and said, what the heck is this? I was talking to Daniel Weinberg, the West Coast dealer that kind of launched Jeff out in LA, and I think that he said that he sold this piece to the Whitney. And I said the thing I liked about this is that now that it's got, I don't know what, 30 years of age on there, there's a certain kind of mistiness. The plexiglass is starting to break down a little bit. Maybe it's getting sun bleached. And one of the things that kind of turned me off about Jeff's work was that there was this kind of ultra shiny, untouched by human hands aspect to it. But I like the fact that even Jeff Koons can't get away from the destruction of time. A lot of this is referring to a lot of classical modernism, I guess, basically coming out of maybe Joseph Cornell and his boxes. And also then we've got the association with Don Judd and his boxes, and even Paul Thek and some of the meat sculptures. And I think the lighting probably was influenced by Dan Flavin. Well, these are some of the early work. This is from 1979, and some inflatable flowers. It's interesting the way that they're displaying these with mirrors behind them and sheets of glass. I don't know if that was the way they originally displayed in the galleries. Like some miniature versions of the new Hoover series. Yeah, these pieces with the mirrors, that relates to Robert Smithson and some of his sight works. Oh, this might be one of the more interesting pieces I've seen so far. The red phone. This is one of the iconic pieces, equilibrium tank. And they mention in the statements that he formulated the solution in conjunction with a Nobel Prize winning chemist so that this ball would float perpetually in the middle of the tank. Although I sometimes wonder could all be phony. That could be floating in resin for all I know. I think this cat is the director of the Pompidou. Now, I think this was in one of his first shows, and I've been doing a little research on the whole 1980s art scene, and particularly the East Village art scene, and they talked about how Jeff Koons spent about $35,000 fabricating pieces for the show and ended up selling them and only making $15,000, but he was able to accomplish what he wanted, which was getting some critical attention and sort of expounding his ideas. It's a nice bronze life jacket. It's an equilibrium tank with 3 balls. Well, this gallery is titled Luxury and Degradation. And this piece is titled Pale. I remember Kate and I were driving down the West Coast, and we stopped in LA and visited the Daniel Weinberg Gallery. It's an iced bucket. And, well, we saw this piece. This is the Jim Beam train. Now, I think he based this on an actual ceramic version of the Jim Beam whiskey decanters, and had this fabricated out of stainless steel. And as I say, I think it still has whiskey sealed in there. You see the tax stamps on there. And I'm not sure, but I think at the time this piece went for about $400,000, and everyone was shocked. One of the other points I'd like to bring up is that there's a whole theory about subversive complicity. This is Jim Beam Model A Ford pickup truck, 1986. The idea of subversive complicity was floated by some of the theorists that sort of came up with Jeff at International with Monument. This was actually what would be known as the second wave of the East Village movement, called Baccarat Crystal Set, 1986. And I think basically what they were doing was taking Warhol's idea of art as business, and great art was great business, sort of carrying it beyond the level at which Warhol had taken it. And also, you know, there's always been a critical side of the avant-garde as well as the aesthetic side. This is titled Fisherman Golfer, 1986, stainless steel. And I guess part of the idea was that if you became successful enough and actually appropriated the tools of the spectacle of the uncontrolled capitalist machine, you could somehow use those tools in a more humanistic way or a more creative way. And although I would say that there's probably a lot of people that would say that people like Jeff Koons and some of the other successful artists, Damien Hirst, have begun to over-identify with their captors. Well, now we'll take a little jaunt through the third floor. So this would be the Made in Heaven series. This is when Jeff kind of moved out of the East Village and was picked up by the Sonabend Gallery. He and the 3 other members of the Fantastic Four. This is the Cicciolino, he's a erotic Italian actress, model, politician. We got a gallery of some of his early stainless steel sculptures. Well, I posted that I was going to be coming to the Jeff Koons show. It's called Mermaid Troll 1986. And, well, I'll tell you that there are probably very few artists that engender the emotions of the local art world more than Jeff Koons. This is interesting. Doctor's Delight. This is also stainless steel, an edition of 3 from 1986. And a little risque statue, Chachka. Well, this piece, along with the equilibrium tanks, are probably one of the 2 or 3 most iconic of the Jeff Koons pieces. Anyway, some of the responses to my announcement that I was coming to see the show is that they hoped they would tear down the museum with Jeff Koons' art inside it, and other people just said that my video will be as close as they're going to get to the exhibit, but I don't feel that way. One of the interesting things about this piece is that this is kind of the forebear of all of his Bloom Dog series. One of the things that I do have questions about is Bob Hope, 1986 stainless steel, is the fact that, of course, Jeff has probably platoons of people making his work for him. I don't think he probably touches any of this with his own hands. And it's Louis XIV. It's also stainless steel, edition of 3, 1986. So it's always been a question for me, how much of an artist is he? I mean, it's great to have ideas, but I don't know, I always like to have the idea, think about artists having some kind of facility, some kind of personal magic touch. Well, this gallery is titled Venality, and this features some of the pieces that got him into trouble. I actually like this piece, the way over the top Baroque mirror. And I think these pieces were all kind of fabricated based on small figurines that he would get in souvenir shops or gift catalogs, and I think most of these were fabricated at some highly proficient Bavarian wood carving factory. Oh, here's Bubbles. I've got a problem with the over-the-top kitsch, but once you get beyond that and you start to look at some of the beautiful surfaces and the reflective colors. God, I'd love that if it was on the bumper of a '57 Chevy. And here's the piece that he was sued for. I think it's called String of Puppies. And I believe this is a wood sculpture. He based this on a photograph and figured that if he put the funny clown noses on the dogs and the flowers on the people's heads that he would avoid copyright infringement, but probably got a lot more attention for the copyright infringement than the piece would have ever gotten, and people like Richard Prince have learned how to cash in on that. Oh, more mermaids. Well, at this point, I think we're going to wrap up part one of Jeff Koons' retrospective here at the Whitney. But come on back, because we're going to start out with Maid in Heaven. Thank you, Kate. What's your guys' name?
We are Uninvited Guests, and you can find us online at facebook.com.